Hi guys, this is gsnon.com and I'm here with the Xiaomi Mi Note 10 Lite. So the Mi Note 10 impressed us last year and now we have the Mi Note 10 Lite. Less camera protrusion, still a huge battery inside, and very much the same screen and CPU. Now this handset should be priced at a pretty affordable rate, should be priced at around $400 and maybe even $300 in some countries, which is a pretty good deal. And I haven't seen very many reviews of it online, so let us indulge you with the Xiaomi Mi Note 10 Lite. Okay, so first things first, it's got pretty much the same footprint as the Mi Note 10, however, we don't have a camera protrusion. It's still made of glass, there's glass at the back, there's glass at the front, and as you can see, these slabs of glass are pretty curved. The thickness is 9.7 millimeters, which is a bit on the chunky side, and the weight is 204 grams, which by the way is 4 grams less than the full Mi Note 10. The thickness is the same. Now, aside from that, I should mention that the phone is pretty easy to handle if you have a bigger hand. Maybe not the easiest one-hand usage in the world, as you can see me struggling to reach the top side of it. The buttons offer pretty good feedback when pressing them, be they volume buttons or power button, and the handset itself feels like a premium affair, even though it doesn't have a premium price. The backside, at least in this color hue, draws a bit of fingerprints, but maybe not as many as one would expect. The grip is decent and it's a pretty big phone, but it has the advantage of having well distributed weight, so it sits quite well in your hand. Aside from that, you should know that it's got Gorilla Glass 5 protection both at the front side and the back side, so scratches will not be a major issue. Now, I'm here to talk to you about the display. The display here is a 6.47 inch 3D curved AMOLED. This AMOLED has some pretty narrow bezels and a resolution of 2340 over 1080 pixels. The very same screen that we have here comes with the promise of 600 nits of brightness, at least on paper, and also DCI-P3 colors and HDR10 support, which is pretty important if you want to really enjoy content with a wide range of colors. Okay, now let's get to some video watching to properly test the screen. So I'm going to watch some 4K HDR content, getting rid of the volume. This is the clip. Let me do the setup, and here we go. Okay, so one thing that bothers me here when watching full screen content is the notch. I've seen bigger notches before, but I gotten accustomed to punch hole cameras, so this thing here may feel bothersome at times. The actual viewing experience is quite satisfying, color-wise, brightness-wise, and contrast-wise, even in the full sunlight of the summer, which has just begun. So the screen is satisfying in all regards, view angles included. I'm not going to leave you like this with just my impressions. We have tools to measure everything here. And first of all, we put the screen under the microscope and discover a pixel arrangement of the pentile matrix variety. We also did a brightness test here on our sister site and achieved 558 lux units. As you can see, it's superior by 1 lux to the OnePlus 8 and also superior to several other high-profile phones, the Galaxy S20 series included. We beat the Mi Note 10, we beat the Motorola One Zoom, the iPhone 11 and Google Pixel 3 XL, to name just a few. Still, in spite of that performance, the OnePlus 6 and Xiaomi Mi 90 are brighter than it, and also, for example, a phone like the Xiaomi Redmi K20 Pro Premium. In the end, a pretty satisfying screen, which you can obviously tweak from here in the settings department. You go to display, you got your brightness level, you got your reading mode, you got your anti-flicker mode, which can be triggered from here, and you also got your dark mode, text size, notch and status bar. You can actually hide the notch, and a full screen mode. Okay, so we're done with the display, we're satisfied by it, and now we move further to other greener pastures. I'm talking about the CPU. It's a familiar face, you've seen it before. This processor is the Qualcomm Snapdragon 730G. Also available on the Xiaomi Mi Note 10, accompanied by 6 or 8 GB of RAM and also 64 or 128 GB storage, UFS 2.1. However, this time around, we're not getting a micro SD card slot. We're also not getting lag, so keep that in mind. There's no lag here and we played games just fine on a pretty high resolution and high level of details. We also did a bunch of benchmarks. I'm pretty sure you are curious about that, and let's see how things went in that regard. Okay, so benchmarks. I'm going to start off with Antutu 8 with a pretty respectable result. We actually beat the Xiaomi Mi Note 10 and also the Galaxy A71, but we scored below the Xiaomi Redmi Note 9 Pro and also the Redmi Note 8 Pro and the Huawei P40 Lite. Aside from that, we also did Geekbench 5 in the multi-core test. As you can see, it beats the Galaxy A71 again and the Mi Note 10 again, and the several other phones like the Motorola One Zoom. That's just one of the examples. It's below the Oppo Reno 3 Pro 5G and the Xiaomi Redmi Note 9 Pro. If you're wondering about the games, this is always relevant. 3D Mark Slingshot Extreme ES 3.1 with a pretty high score here. I'm pretty happy with the result. Beats Galaxy A71, Galaxy A80, beats the Xiaomi Mi Note 10 and even the gaming intensive Redmi Note 8 Pro, so not bad. Lesser than Huawei P40 Lite for some reason. Just so you know, it beats the Galaxy A51 by about 100k points. I'm talking about 100k points, so performance-wise, I'm happy with what we achieved here. And I'm not even done. We also have some tests for the temperature. This is the temperature achieved in benchmarks. Check this out, only 33.2 degrees Celsius. To me, this is mind-blowing. And in games, even more, just a mere 31.8 degrees Celsius. Color me impressed. When it comes to the battery, if you've seen the Mi Note 10, you know what to expect. The Mi Note 10 Lite also has a ginormous battery, 5260 mAh, and once again it delivers in excellent fashion. Now, you should know that it comes with a 30-watt charge, and let's see what it delivers. So these are our battery tests. When it comes to the video playback, the phone is third placed. We've tested 400 phones basically over the years, and this is third placed. 22 hours and 3 minutes. It's crazy. It beats everything. It beats OnePlus 8, Xiaomi Mi Note 10, basically everything you can imagine. Galaxy Note 10 Lite and Galaxy S10 Lite, which were also impressive. It only stays below 2 battery phones, and the one above it, this one, has 5 hours above it and has an 11,000 mAh battery. Continuous usage is no small feat as well, 6th place, with a very good duration of 16 hours and 19 minutes, above the Xiaomi Mi 10 Pro 5G, Moto G8 Power, which is a battery phone, also the Mi Note 10. Below the OnePlus 8 and Moto G7 Power, which is a battery phone still. The charging is not half bad. Full charge is done in 1 hour and 6 minutes. As you can see right here, 1 hour and 6 minutes, and after 30 minutes you're already at 51%, after 1 hour you're 98%, so I'm totally blown away by the battery. So far, combined with the screen, we're getting a flagship level experience, if not better. Now that we're done with the battery, let's talk acoustics. We have a singular speaker here, and sadly it's placed to the left side, not the right. We also have audio jack here. Being placed on the left side means you can cover it with your hand in landscape and muffle it, which is a bit of a bummer. Now the equalizer only gets triggered when you insert headphones, and I'm not going to insist on that very much. Let's actually enjoy some, let's enjoy some free music this time. Let's see what YouTube has to offer. Okay, dedicated website for that purpose, and actually found a good tune a couple of days ago. This one. Okay, so you just witnessed the whole muffling thing, but aside from that, I'm pretty happy with the experience. The bass was okay, the high notes were fine, the body doesn't vibrate excessively, the volume is okay, and I like particularly the guitar and percussion. That's the best thing that you're going to hear out of this speaker. Rest assured, we also did some tests here when it comes to the volume, so we achieved a pretty impressive power when we did our typical test with an acoustic sample. 92.6 decibels is what we achieved. it's definitely top 10 material, 6th place. We beat the Oppo Find X2 and Huawei P40 Lite. We score below the Motorola Moto G7 Plus and Xperia 5. In games, check this out, 100.8 decibels. Pretty impressive. It goes past the iPhone SE 2020, goes past the Galaxy S20 and iPhone 11, stays below Galaxy A51 and Huawei P40 Lite, the biggest rival that this phone probably has. Okay, so finally we've reached the camera department. You've already noticed that we have a notch here for the selfie 16 megapixel shooter, which, well, takes Full HD videos, just in case you're wondering. At the back side we have a quad camera setup with a pretty strong set of flashes. As you can see here, there are 4 flashes, 2 soft and 2 strong flashes. So the camera setup goes like this. We have a brand new sensor, 64 megapixel, Sony IMX686, combines 4 pixels in one, f1.89 aperture. There's an 8 megapixel ultra-wide camera in the mix. There's a 5 megapixel bokeh camera and a 2 megapixel camera as well, which should probably be used for the macros and things like that. Okay, so we also have laser focus aside from those. So we also have face detection autofocus. We also have contrast detection focus and 4 flashes and 4K 30 frames per second video capture. So quite a few options packed within a not very expensive phone. Interestingly, the phone before it, the Mi Note 10, had a crazy array, crazy setup, which involved 2 telephoto cameras. Here we don't even have a singular one. Anyways, the camera interface includes stuff like Documents, Pro, Panorama, Night, Portrait. You can take full 64 megapixel shots. And there was one interesting option. It was called Vlog. You've seen it in the unboxing. You can take a series of predefined shots, video shots with various effects. Basically, those are Instagram worthy. Okay, so here we are with the gallery of photos I've taken on a very, very hot and sunny day. Okay, so one thing that all of these photos have in common is the fact that the colors are a bit more intense than I would like. Don't get me wrong, there are many people who enjoy photos with intense colors. This particularly manifests if you're taking the ultra-wide shots, which are even more intense than the regular ones. Keep in mind, we're lacking a telephoto camera. We only have digital zoom here, and it seems decent at first, even though sometimes it didn't deliver exactly to my expectations. Several more shots here. I can guarantee you that this bridge and this tree weren't this intense when I took the photos. But as you can tell, we have quite the amount of details. So that Sony sensor is doing something right. And also the clarity is flagship worthy. This is where I tried my hand with the macro shots. I tried to achieve them, and finally this one actually got to it. I mean, the macros here are good, but they're not memorable. Galaxy A51 and A71 produced memorable macros. Several more shots, regular shot, ultra wide shot. This is actually red, pretty well rendered, and this red becomes pink in the ultra wide shot. Okay, and several more attempts at macros. And this is where we start to play around with the selfies. And guess what? I'm not very happy with the results. The first batch of selfies made my face too perfect. I suppose there were some beauty effects because everything is smooth. You do not see the pores. And I actually went into the options. I dug into it and I tried to make the skin more realistic and, well, filled with pores. Now the bokeh here is pretty solid, so the way my face is cut from the background is okay, provided that you don't apply effects to it. I actually applied effects to the bokeh and I was underwhelmed. As you can see here, part of my face is cut, happens again, and again. So stay away from effects, otherwise the regular bokeh should do you just fine. And check this out, how well my head is cut from the background. So when it comes to the selfies and the bokeh, I'm happy with the results. It's better than the Oppo Reno 3 Pro 5G, the Motorola Edge. There are no focusing problems here. And the only drawback of the camera is, well, the colors are a bit too intense for my liking. Something like a notch or two below would have been a bit better. Otherwise, the lighting, the clarity, the details, they're spot on. And the problem intensifies with the colors when you're taking the ultra wide shots. These are daytime captures. Let's go to the nighttime. Okay, and they're actually not that bad. So it handles light sources in a pretty okay manner, billboard and all that, pretty well calibrated lighting at night. The vegetation does appear to be a bit too green, but I've seen phones recently which behave worse than this one and cost double, so there is also that to take into account. For a mid-range phone, it handles its own quite well. I mean, of course, the ultra-wide camera will definitely distort the lamps, but the focus is actually spot on and details aren't bad. And if you're using the main camera, even the lights remain okay. So it's actually one of the good ones. It can easily fight our previous champion. I remember that the Huawei P40 Lite was excellent in low light, and this one can maybe pose some problems. But still, they're fighting in the mid-range department. Flagships can do a bit better. Okay, so we're done with that. If you want to talk about the videos, I'm going to go to a separate area, and as you can see, a lot of videos. Okay, so the most relevant one is stabilization one. Here we go. A decent microphone, which sometimes gets beaten by the wind if the wind is quite strong. Stabilization, as you can see, is not half bad. Truly not bad. And this also manifests in the selfie video. Also well stabilized. Having tested the Motorola Edge recently, I feel that this Xiaomi phone actually handles selfie videos better. I know that the face is a bit too white, but it doesn't have those intense contrast problems of the Galaxy A51 and A71. I know I'm not shooting in 4K, but still, I would say pretty solid for a selfie experience. This is one of my favorite videos. It's actually taken with the vlog mode. It's a collage of a few shots of a few seconds. Simple, like a story on Instagram, so that's it. Of course, there are more effects to apply and even some crazy kaleidoscope effects. That's just one example. You can do a lot of things with this phone. And I also tested the focus accuracy and speed. Which is once again solid. So I think that the only thing to try out here is, well, the set of colors. Just like the photos, they're a bit too intense and the exposure is a bit high, but overall, the clarity of the filming and the details are spot on. There is no refocus. Even if you're panning fast, there are no problems with the image, so I'm actually pretty happy with the results. And once again, some people like more vivid colors. The real surprise happened at night. We have a slug, a snail, however you want to call it. Check this out. This is shot with a $300 or $400 phone, and it's amazing. I think it needs some fast forward because, you know, snails are, well, slow. But we have another one with all of its gooey nature. This is a low light video, folks. And I know a few flagships which would have a hard time taking such a video. And even the other nighttime videos aren't bad. Check this out. Look at the street lights, look at the fountain, look at the vegetation. This is a mid-range phone. Not bad. Not bad at all. Actually, I find it superior to the Motorola Edge and Oppo Reno 3 Pro 5G. Keep that in mind. Okay, so the low light video capture was a bit of a surprise, but in general, remember that the colors are too strong in photos and videos. Let's talk about connectivity. Okay, so this is a 4G phone with dual SIM, nano SIM card slots. It also has an infrared emitter here at the top side, used to control TV sets, set-top boxes, air conditioners, smart fridges, whatever. There's Wi-Fi dual band on board, there's Bluetooth 5.0, GPS, GLONASS, Galileo, BDS, NFC, and an USB-C port at the bottom, plus the audio jack here. It's pretty well rounded up when it comes to connectivity. You can see here we also have Wi-Fi options, Bluetooth, VPN, connection and sharing. You can do casting, you can do printing, private DNS, NFC confirmed, and let's see how we did in the test department. There's an app called Speed Test from a company called Ookla, and we're using it to measure the prowess of the 4G and Wi-Fi connectivity. These are the results we achieved. On Wi-Fi, 266 megapixel in download. We're doing fine. On upload, 24.9. Once again, fine. On 4G, solid 196 over 67. These are flagship values, once again, on a mid-range phone. The software experience. This is Android 10 with MIUI 11. If you've seen our other reviews of Xiaomi phones from this year, you know exactly what to expect. The leftmost area is dedicated to news and stuff from Google. The multitasking happens like this with 2 columns and a few options to clean stuff up, cleaner, security scan, deep clean, and so forth. The drop-down area is clean and once again inspired. Ever since iOS 7, everybody's been copying the skeuomorphic thing. Notifications, quick settings, which include the dark mode, screen recorder, and do not disturb. If you pinch the screen, you're going to the widgets, which are transparent and white, just like the Samsung One UI ones. Okay, aside from that, I don't think we've missed anything. So we got a minimalistic experience, we got typical settings and shortcuts here. Got your digital well-being and parental control. We also have button shortcuts, quick ball, one-handed mode, and a special enterprise mode, believe it or not. There are special features here for gamers. There's Game Turbo, which lets you boost certain games, quick replies, and also we have second space. Basically, it's like having a new phone on this phone, like a separate profile of sorts. For security, we have the fingerprint scanner within the screen. As you can see, not the fastest in the world, but I've combined it with the face unlock, so it sees both my face and the finger and works a bit faster with that. The face is not as secure, lacking the special infrared detector. Now the pre-installed apps, they're pretty straightforward affair, not much bloatware here. We have the Mi Remote, which you can use to control stuff using the infrared emitter. And aside from that, well, other useful applications. You can see here the control side of things. My favorite app has got to be security. It's got a pretty impressive amount of things it can do. Cleaner, security scan, battery and performance, boost speed, manage apps, deep clean, Facebook cleaner, solve problems, game speed, data usage, block list, second space. So basically, this is your hub for making the device run better and faster in the future when it may get stuck. Okay, so enough is enough. I've talked a lot about this handset. Let's go to our website and recap everything. It's time for the pros and cons. On the pros side, this phone has a fantastic battery. It easily gives you 2 days of usage. It's got a good performance, beating the Galaxy A models from this year, the best ones. It's got a very bright screen, which is also crisp and lovely to play games on, to watch videos on, whatever you want. There's fast connectivity. I would say the stabilization is okay when taking videos. Selfies are nice. Bokeh is nice without effects. Surprising low light capture. Okay 4K videos. Cute vlogging effects. Pretty loud acoustics. And well, I would say that's about it. And MIUI, I gotten accustomed to it. It also has an app drawer now. On the con side, no IP68. No stereo speakers, no wireless charging, no micro SD. Some of the photos are too vividly colored and a bit too bright for my liking, and the bokeh cuts your face if you're applying those special effects. The zoom is underwhelming because we don't have a telephoto camera. The macro is not memorable, and the backside draws some fingerprints. That's about it. For a $300 or $400 phone, you're getting quite a lot with some of the aspects beating flagships. I will say it again, this can even be a problematic rival for expensive phones like the Motorola Edge and the Oppo Reno 3 Pro 5G, which cost 2 or 3 times more. So there's that. I would say that aside from the color calibration of the photos and videos, this phone doesn't have defects. So that's a big thing to remember. The Mi Note 10 ahead of it was excellent. The Mi Note 10 Lite is perhaps even better, even without the cool telephoto cameras. So this has been the review from gsno.com. Hope we helped you with the decision to buy, skip, or expect the future of this Xiaomi series. This is it from us. Bye bye.